Welcome back everybody, thanks again for joining us on this channel. Today is a video still all about running, but with no actual running. It's slightly different to what we would normally do. Today was meant to be a training run. I've not been feeling too great lately, a bit of a sore throat, bit of a cold, so hopefully though should still be okay for the London Landmarks Half Marathon. So today, a while back you might remember I asked if you had any questions that you wanted to ask me or Tom or any of the others that appear on this channel. Any Q&As, find out a little bit about us, running, so on and so forth, and we have had a lot of Q&As. Thank you ever so much everybody who has commented. If you're one of our new subscribers, by the way, and if you're not, hit that subscribe button now, because we've got loads of good videos coming your way. If you are one of our new subscribers, thank you first of all for joining our channel. Thank you very much for hopefully enjoying the content as well. If you have any Q&As that you would like to add, it's not too late to ask. We are going to be doing that video very shortly. I'll put the email address where you can contact us now, or you can just leave us a comment below and we will try and answer as many Q&As as we can as a group together for you, and you're going to learn a little bit about us. But I did notice one question crop up quite a few times, more so than any other question, and that was simply how or what got you into running. And I thought, rather than just mingle it in with all the other Q&As, because this one seems to crop up quite a few times, why not actually do a video all about what made me start my running journey? And for that, I'm bringing you back to Caldercut Park. We're in Rugby, Warwickshire. This is the place where my story starts with running. Sit back, hopefully you'll enjoy this one, and I'm going to tell you exactly why I got into running and how it's lasted ever since. Thanks for joining us, guys. Let's see what Caldercut Park actually looks like. I mean, this really is a great little park for everyone to enjoy. This is, it's not real grass obviously, but it's almost like a carpet kind of tile to play on. And they've set it all up for all different sports as well. So you can play football, obviously, we've got the goals either end, pitch markings for it, basketball. And this is something even I hadn't noticed until just today. In case you're wondering what that is, That's if you want to play cricket in here. You're going to struggle smashing it for a 6 though, because there's netting. This park really has got so much going for it, and this is one of the reasons I used to like to bring Matthew to this park. So, this is Caldicott Park. Now this is in Rugby, a town where I actually work. Behind me you can see the bandstand. Now that's, oh blimey, over 100 years old. They still actually do some live performances there every now and again. They get some of the local town artists in to do a little gig, normally during sunnier days, not like today. And over there is the kiddies playground. Nice little sandpit, climbing frames, slides, swings. And it was pretty much in this exact spot where my running journey actually began. Let's rewind the clock. So roughly around about 5 years ago now, I suppose it would be, I brought my lad here one day because I knew he'd love it. Now, if you didn't know, I do have a son, Jogger Vlogger Junius. For those of you who tune in regularly, you will know him. I'll leave a link above to one of his videos. Now, like all kids, he likes to have a good play, have a run around. We had a bike that he was pedaling around on. He was enjoying himself over there in the sandpit. Then he came back to his bike, and then, like most kids of that age, and remember we're talking about 5 years ago, so he would have been 3-4 years old at that point. When I said it was time to leave, somebody got into a little paddy. Now, you might not think, oh, it's not too bad, kids, you know, wander off and you can soon grab them. So he started making a run for the far corner of the park. Now, about 5-6 years ago, I weighed in at somewhere around 280 pounds, somewhere near 20 stone. And all I remember doing is grabbing his bike, desperately trying to chase after him, and I couldn't catch him. I couldn't catch him. I had a choice to make. I either had to drop the bike and try and sprint as hard as I can, and I couldn't do that at all anyway. I had to drop the bike in what was not a very nice area at the time. It's a lot better now, and potentially the bike wasn't going to be there when I got back, or I was faced with watching my lad run out of this park onto a main road. Now, you might not be able to see the road from this distance, but it can be quite busy. Cars can go by there at about 30 miles an hour. And as a 4-year-old, he has no concept of car movement. I was chasing him, my heart was pounding, everything was hurting on me. He was getting away from me, and I was ever so worried. And I kept shouting his name, I kept screaming, "Matthew, stop, Matthew, stop." And I don't know why, for whatever reason, but just before he reached the gate, he stopped. And I will be forever thankful for whatever made him stop, actually stop him. Because I wasn't going to reach him beforehand. I'll be honest. I dropped the bike by this point, by the way. In case you're wondering, did he carry on carrying the bike? I couldn't care less at this point if somebody was going to steal it. I needed to get my lad before he hit the road. It was one of the most nerve-wracking moments of my time. And it suddenly dawned on me. He's 4, and I can't keep up with him. What's it going to be like in a couple of years' time when he wants to play football with me, when he wants to go out on his bike with me, when he wants to go and do anything, climbing, or, you know, something silly like that, on like indoor activities, something like that? I'm not going to be able to do any of that. My version of running back then, I didn't even run for a bus. I just didn't do it. I didn't do any exercise. I had a terrible diet. That hasn't changed. But it was at this very moment in time but I knew I had to change. I knew I had to do something to be able to get fitter. If I wanted to be the dad he deserved, and the dad I wanted to be for him, I knew I had to change. So just to demonstrate the gait to you, this was the gait he was aiming for. It's typical that it's not actually that busy at this moment in time. Normally there is a lot of traffic up and down here. Like almost time that to happen. But like I say, he would have had no concept and would have just carried on going. So that's what really scared me. So anyway, I looked into what I could do to try and get me fitter, I guess. Looked at gyms. Memberships were a lot of money. £35 a month back in those days, even more now, I guess, you know. And not only that, I was very conscious about what I looked like and what I would look like working out. I'm not a very confident person, in all honesty. I am around people I know, but put me in a new environment, I'm not great, in all honesty. And not only that, I just didn't have over £400 a year to go and do running on a treadmill. I hate treadmills anyway. Swimming. By the way, swimming, in case you're wondering, is the worst sport you could possibly do ever. Okay, and I know people are going to turn around and say, oh, it gets every muscle in your body going and it really works you out and it's good. Right, you're cold when you get changed. The water is freezing when you first get into it. You have to swim just to start getting warm. The moment you get out the pool after you're actually knackered, you're freezing again. And then you stink of chlorine despite how much you shower. So I'm not having that. Swimming's not good for you at all. I'm not having that. And then somebody told me something about a program called C25K, Couch to 5K. It's a running program. You've probably heard of it anyway, but it was on the NHS website. And whether you're new to running, whether you've been running for years, all I can tell you now is if anybody ever asks you, or says to you rather, oh, I can't run, it's a lie. Because I said exactly the same. I said, oh, I can't run. Couch to 5K was a revelation. I thought, you know what, let's give it a go. Running, it costs nothing. You don't need a membership. Look at the wonderful parks that you can run around. The streets that you can run around. Your local neighbourhoods. You need a pair of trainers. When you start off, you don't need the fancy trainers. You don't need these £200 plus carbon plate fancy floating on air business. You need a pair of trainers that you feel comfortable in. You don't need the special tech sweat-proof t-shirts. You need a t-shirt. It was as simple as that. And the Couch to 5K program changed me forever. It was just so simple. 3 times a week. It even told you what you had to do. Run, walk, run, walk, run, walk. The runs, obviously, as you go through the weeks, get longer. It was as simple as that. And the first couple of weeks I thought, hey, this is going to be a doddle. It actually starts off quite easy, quite nice. It soon gets harder, trust me. And that's how I got into running. Like I say, it all started right here with my lad running for that gate. Had that never happened, I don't know. I'd never really felt an incentive at that point to get up and try exercising or do anything like that. It was more the panic on the day and the realisation I wasn't really being the dad I wanted to be. 5 years later, I've done all sorts. I've done 10Ks, I've done half marathons, I've done the Dopey Challenge. Something that, had I gone back and told myself 5 years ago from now, I wouldn't believe myself. If I go back in time and I bumped into myself, which I know you're not meant to do because of the butterfly effects, but you know, nobody actually knows. If I was to go back in time and tell myself, hey, in 5 years you would have completed a marathon, you would have done dozens of half marathons, nah, wouldn't buy it. Would have thought there was some nut job coming up to me and telling me a load of rubbish. My advice for anybody when it comes to running, just give it a go. Absolutely give it a go. You don't need to be Usain Bolt. You don't need to be Eliud Kipchoge. There's always going to be people that are bigger, faster, stronger. But if you want to do something, do it for you. Don't worry in the slightest what anybody else is doing. Comparison is the thief of enjoyment. So there you have it, guys. That is how I got into running and exactly where my running journey started. I'll never forget it, I really won't. It was it's something I always come back and think about whenever I walk into town on my lunch break. And yeah, hopefully you enjoyed that part of the Q&A. We have got more coming to you. We are working on our videos at the moment to answer some of your questions. Like I say, if you've got any more, leave them in the comments below. Very quick note about our next video. On Sunday, I run my first half marathon in nearly 6 months. It's the London Landmarks half marathon. Going to be starting at Pall Mall, running around Trafalgar Square, City of London, loads of places. We'll take the GoPro round. If you haven't subscribed already, again, please do hit that subscribe button. Help the channel grow. Thank you ever so much for doing so, those of you that have, and thanks for coming back again. Next week's video, all about London Landmarks half marathon. Until then though, guys, have a fantastic week. Take care of yourselves and enjoy your running. Until then.